to you.
I'm Katie, I'm 17, I've got autism and PTSD from the education system. I guess it starts when I was 5. My parents spoke to the GP referred me to CAMHS. CAMHS said we're not going to see her and just sent my parents to parenting classes, so I carried on through primary school, had bits of intermittent struggle, but was mostly coping all right till I got to year 6, and the pressure of SATs was so overwhelming that I dropped out, had complete autistic burnout, could not cope in school at all. That experience gave me PTSD, but I wasn't diagnosed till much later. I got referred back to CAMHS then, but the waiting list meant that I started secondary school before I got my autism diagnosis, so there was no real support going into secondary school. Secondary school was really overwhelming. I went to a busy mainstream school with so many pupils, it was so loud. I dropped out again, had complete autistic burnout, got diagnosed with an eating disorder, my mental health was really low, went on alternate provision for a while, tried to go back to mainstream school and couldn't, so I tried 2 different schools. They weren't SEND special schools, they were just private schools, but I couldn't cope in either of them, even though the environment was a lot better. So dropped out of school completely, got diagnosed with PTSD, and I'm now on education other than at school.
Thank you. Sarah.
I'm Sarah, I'm 20, and I'm a final year student at university. And as for my SEND journey, I've got multiple lifelong conditions and stuff, and I got an EHCP when I started primary school, and the support at my primary school was absolutely brilliant and things, but like a lot of other witnesses here, it was when I started secondary school that the support all started to fall apart, because yes, I still had the EHCP, but there just wasn't enough support for me, because it turned out being things like the staff not giving me a TA in PE, or like my predicted grade happened to be lowered because I wasn't getting the right support. It was things like that, and then 6th form, yes, the support was much better, but it then all changed it when I was in the end of year 12, when I lost a lot of eyesight, and it just, when I started 6th form, I did have a QVTI, but then it was when I lost my sight that that just went in a way. And yes, I had like some mobility training and things, but like within the 6th form itself, the support was brilliant. I can't fault it and stuff. And now that I'm at uni, the support is really good. I've got disabled students allowance, and within that I've got assistive technology software and non-medical help. But then the uni themselves have also put additional adjustments in place. For example, like all classrooms to be on the ground floor, all materials to be in large print, all that sort of thing. So again, my SEND journey has been a bit rocky, but overall it's taking the secondary school bit out of the equation. It's been a mostly positive experience.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you very much. And can I just say for the record as well that our colleague Darren Paffy has left just while you were speaking, Sarah. Madeline.
Good morning, I'm Madeline. I am 19 and I'm currently in my 2nd year of university. I am here because my provisions related to me being autistic, and because I had ill mental health throughout the education system as well. I was diagnosed as autistic when I was about 17 years old, but I had started off on that pathway from about the age of 13 through the help of CAMHS, which was brilliant. I knew that there was particular elements that I struggled with when I was younger, and at about the age of 10 I became quite vocal about it, that I knew that there was something that wasn't exactly the same as my peers, and it distressed me not knowing what that was. And so I did research into mental health conditions, which I later found out that I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety through my experiences within the education system. And I didn't get particularly many provisions until I had left mainstream education. I, at 14, had to leave my secondary school and go to an online schooling system called Interhigh, and that was the best thing that happened for my education because I was able to learn in my own environment, and it took me away from the busy and stressful and struggling education system that I was at the time, that couldn't help me and wasn't able to give the support through different issues within their teams. And all the way through my primary and secondary experience, up until I was able to go to an online school, I had a particularly difficult experience. I had really struggled with my mental health throughout, and I had to then leave because I wasn't able to get into school. I was having panic attacks and sensory overload consistently, and I would spend most of my day sat outside the classroom while teachers had passed me in the corridors, thinking that I'd done something wrong, that I was sent out for being a troubled child, when it was just that I couldn't cope in that environment. And that judgment, I think, affected me even more. However, I went to a mainstream sixth form to do my A-levels, and it was, I think, the best best schooling experience that I had ever had. And it really gave me the confidence to be able to go on and go off to university to live by myself. And it was the support that I found from teachers who either knew firsthand or were particularly empathetic and person-centered with their teaching, or through the friends that I had gained through that experience who really supported me, that gave me that confidence. And I went from barely passing my GCSEs to excelling in my A-levels. Now I am at university and I have had difficulty, but I have definitely had more support after gaining an EHCP when I was 14 that my mother applied for. She was told that there wouldn't be a likelihood chance that if you were a parent applying for it, it would be a massive struggle to be able to get me that support, but it managed to get passed through because she'd been able to detail exactly what issues that I had had throughout mainstream education and what I needed, and then with that support going on with the HCP and then further on a DSA when I got to university, it has definitely been a massive help.
Thank you.